Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be across this beautiful blue-green globe of ours. Welcome to Real News Live. This is a Tell the Truth Wednesday with Mike and Jen. I'm your host, Mike Barra, in sunny, beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. It's going to be about 75 here, 80 today. It's going to be perfect. Joined as I always am by my co-host on Mondays and Wednesdays, the lovely lady with the lustrous hair, Jennifer Fallah-Doring. Jen, how was your Tuesday?
Can't complain. It was fine.
Did a philosophy show, and
I did on Jennifer Fallah-Doring on YouTube. You guys can go watch that. Talked about a few things. Talked about President Trump and how I didn't think he was going to get arrested. And the day blew by.
Yeah. So it's great to be here with you guys. There isn't a lot of news. I do want to address one thing. In my Telegram chat, there was an awful lot of back and forth chitter chatter from somebody who said you're gonna have to have a trust, or they're only going to give you $10,000 cash, which, by the way, at 27-1 is like having hundreds of thousands of dollars, just so you know, if that's the case, unless you have a trust, and then you're not going to be able to really fully exchange until you have a trust. That's nonsense. Number one, they want to get you in and out in 45 minutes or less. That means they're going to be doing everything. If you have a trust, great. If you don't have a trust, that's fine. Mark repeatedly says you don't need a trust. He does have a trust that he set up a long time ago that he's not even sure he's going to use. And we'll clarify that tonight if we get him in on if I end up on Whiskey and Wisdom. But you don't need a trust to exchange. The people that are telling you this, there was some woman who I've never heard of, Pat or something, who's telling people this. Just ignore this nonsense, especially here near the end when we feel like we're very close to this happening. And it mostly comes from a guy named Shelton, who does know a few people. But when I mentioned Shelton's name to Mark Z for the first time, he just went, Shelton. Mark doesn't take him seriously. I don't take him seriously. And guess what he does? He sells trusts. Guess what Ed Vocala does?
I was just going to say that.
Ed Vocala sells trusts, although he does have a free trust that you can set up. If you want to set up a free trust through Ed Vocala's information over there on the Seeds of Wisdom site, which I'm banned from now for some reason, fine, go ahead and do that. I'm not going to bother with that stuff. Also, the presumption is the legal system is going to change, so we don't have a lot of this nonsense. If you accidentally run over somebody's dog, God forbid, they can't sue you for $20 million anymore. So there's going to be like proportionality. Insurance should be all you need. Although I think when I have the funds, I will be putting a lot of stuff into trusts. I will probably put a certain amount of whatever income I end up with, whatever cash I end up with, into a trust that's just for me for the rest of my life, that nobody can touch, that will pay me out, a lot of money if I need to. Probably put my house into trust and things like that. But we're also going to be entering an era of legal reform where this kind of stuff is probably not going to be needed. And as far as I know, as far as everybody I know that I trust knows, that's not going to be a requirement. So just don't let people rile you up, folks.
Well, that's something you can listen. When do you get a trust? When you have a lot of value to put in it. Okay, so you go to the appointment. They can't say, "Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. We don't have anywhere to put that." Yes, we do. They've got the treasury account, and then you've got your holding account, and that's why the big banks are contracted with them, because you're going to put a whole bunch of money in their holding account, and they're going to make money off of you. Mm-hmm. Then they put you with financial advisors, and they say, here's numbers to these people and lawyers and whatever. Set up your trust. I do know that when Dad passed, it was so much easier for me, and nobody could argue with me because it was all laid out in their living trust. And it immediately gave me the authority, once I got the death certificate, to sell the house, pay the bills, do everything. And so I'm going to do that. And the whole tax purposes thing, but that's going to go away. But initially,
Yeah.
it's still there.
It,
so,
and like Jen says, as her example, it's great for when you have a lot of assets. If you don't have a lot of assets, you don't need it before you exchange.
Yeah, because the cool thing is that we had the trust and everything was lined up in it, and it was filed with the county. Everything was, so I didn't have, nothing went to probate. It was just follow the trust, get it done. And it was great. And it was a big relief for me, because I didn't have all the siblings coming at me like, well, I want this and I want that. Well, I'm sorry, it says right here,
Yeah.
So it was great.
By the way, Jen, your hair does look fabulous today. If I was you, I would take pictures today. If you were going to go with Tinder, I would definitely use today's hair as your Tinder picture.
Probably not going to get on Tinder, but thank you. I just didn't curl it.
So
it's layered, so I like to curl the ends, but yeah, a lot of people like it straight.
Yeah, I was AJ Ferrara, I was a little bothered last night. I was really ready to send people to the gallows last night. And it's just the way it is when I get around the guys. We just get fired up, and so it was an intense show last night. Well, that's okay. I didn't watch your show either. That's not true. I watched.
Well, yeah. Well, you start watching mine, then I'll start watching.
I watched your show. Yeah,
Dave watches my show.
I know Dave does, because I sat and watched it with you.
It's because Dave loves me.
We don't watch it live because Dave's always asleep when it's on. After the funds come in to protect your assets, you don't have to have one, but it's nice for protection afterwards, assuming we have a similar legal system going forward. Okay, guys, that's really it. Jen, unless you got any Gentel or thoughts over coffee or anything you had this morning, I think we'll just move more directly.
Well, I just got a little something on the whole trust situation. That's why you have a treasury account. The only monies that you're really going to have to protect are the monies that you transfer over into fiat.
The treasury account is your trust going forward. It's a trust. I'm just going to tell you, the entire universe is set up on the concept of a trust. Okay. There is a grantor, there is a beneficiary, and there is a recipient, basically. So that's the way contract between conscious beings is supposed to work. So the universe is actually set up that way as a trust. The earth is held in trust for the human race, among other beings that are here. So it's like, yeah, that's what's going to happen is your trust. They're not going to let some guy who says, oh, I slipped on some ice on your stairs delivering this Amazon package, so you have to give me all of your money, hundreds of millions of dollars. The trust is not going to allow that. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, you get insurance for that. But what I'm saying is okay, so they calculate what you're going to get from the RV in fiat dollars. Then they recalculate it and put it in the trust in gold-backed dollars. You can't use those gold-backed dollars yet. The 1% or whatever it is, that's why we need the big bank, because they have enough money to give you that 1%. It's kind of like a loan. So that's their money sitting there right there. So you'll have time to go and say, okay, one day this is going to be, I'm going to have full access to this. So we've got money in there now, enough to get things done. But in actuality, that is loan money from the bank. So either way, that's why you don't transfer over the whole thing into the big holding account with a large bank if you don't have those things done. So there will be time to do that.
Guys, I'm sorry, something happened with the stream today, and certain channels did not get activated. They're being activated now. And I don't know why, because I set them up to go. Where is my Rumble link? So hang on, I gotta do a little maintenance here. There it is. Why is it not right? Okay, Rumble should be coming on soon.
I'll start over.
Yeah, no, it's too late to do that.
Well,
But
Rumble's the one that stays up.
yeah, but that's really weird. Hang on, streaming. Mike Bear 3 is offline for some reason. Let's go back and reload. Sorry, Jen. I'm just doing some I don't know what happened because everything was set up just to work just fine.
Everything's been freaking out lately.
Yeah, well, it is Mercury retrograde, so
still. I hate that.
Yeah, still for a little while longer. Let's see what
Please comment if you're seeing us on Rumble.
Well, they're not. I'm over there right now checking it. And for some reason, it's still not coming on. What the hell? This is really weird. Edit channels. Okay, streaming. And then it's frozen. I'm not streaming to my Seahawks thing. Why am I not streaming on these channels? This is driving me crazy. Custom. Okay, so I should be streaming on all those channels now. So we should be coming on. Yeah, I'm just getting no stream on Rumble whatsoever.
Weird.
There we go. Finally. Okay. Finally, we're on Rumble. All right. So sorry to start over. Guys, I'm sorry about the Rumble thing. It wasn't a Rumble problem. It was something set up here in Restream got messed up. I activated all the channels, so they just didn't they got messed up. Sorry about this.
Does Blake produce when you go live?
What's that?
Does Blake produce when you go live?
No,
or do you?
No, Blake doesn't.
Oh, okay.
Blake's probably at work or sleeping in or whatever he does. I don't know what.
Well, I mean, last night he could have changed something.
It's mysterious. Well, yeah, Blake was in last night, but I don't know what's going on. Anyway, let's catch the Rumble people up real quick. Sorry about that, guys. We had streaming problems. The main thing we wanted to address is that no, you do not need a trust to exchange. At the time of exchange, the people that are pushing that sell trusts. You don't and Edivocala, by the way, on Telegram, on Seeds of Wisdom, has a bunch of documents where you can actually create a free, simple trust if you want to, but you don't need it. Trusts are for after the exchange when you have assets. And we also may be moving into a legal system where we don't really need to worry about these kinds of things because your treasury account is going to be your trust, and your treasury account is not going to give some clown $100 million because he slipped, on some ice on your stairs delivering an Amazon package. That's just not going to happen anymore.
And until such time as that the notes in the treasury account are legal tender, nobody knows about it really.
Yeah, so
you'll have time.
So these rumors that you have to have a trust before they'll let you exchange are simply not true. We wanted to get to that. Okay, so we're going to just move on to questions. We've got let's see, 200. We finally have some people over there. We got about 500 people in the stream today. Smaller crowd than usual, but nice to have you guys here. No real news beyond that. We're all sitting and waiting. Although again, the non-connected to God people, all of the gurus are all really excited, thinking it's going to happen today or tomorrow. I know Texas Snake put something out, and Jen still says a fortnight. So
I'm hoping it's within a fortnight, within the next 2 weeks, or
yes.
I didn't know what a fortnight was until I looked it up, but
yeah, guys know
it explains the delays. I mean, every day that we have a delay is kind of like a Gentel confirm on that one, but you know what?
Yeah.
Whatever.
I think Jen, I can speak for you and say you would rather be wrong on the fortnight and have it happen today. I think we'd all rather have that. It's like, oh, Jen got that one wrong. Well, thank God she got it wrong because it's 10 days early, and here we are. Well, here we are throwing money over our naked bodies.
Friday's really better for me, so I'm just kidding. I don't have any work on Friday.
Friday's really the best day for me. Okay, so guys, please remember that these streams do get taken down off of Mike Barra 3 and Mike Barra 333 almost as soon as the show is completed. They seem to be remaining on Mike Barra 2, although I am flabbergasted that my channel hasn't been shut down, considering the things we talk about on this show and the other shows that I do. But you can always go back to mikebarra.blogspot.com and you can pick up all of the shows as you wish. They're all there. They're linked in. They go directly to the Rumble channel. You can also pick up lectures that I've done, links to articles that I've written, the Calvine UFO photo analysis, interviews with other truthers, other people in the UFO movement, all kinds of cool stuff. And I actually need Jen to like put more of that stuff out there. Also, please do not forget to visit our wonderful sponsors, the CBD Gurus, over at thecbdgurus.com, where you can get all kinds of CBD products for your health, some with THC, some without. Slide over to the wholesale tab, slide down to Mike B Wholesale, type in the discount code. What is it, Jen? What's the discount code?
ALIEN.
ALIEN, Alien. Slide on in there, pick up this week's specials. They've got the skincare lotion back, which is really great stuff. The Lion's Mane, the gummies, and Miracle Gold, and a bunch of other products, including the ladies' lounge pants. I really preferred the lounge pants with my face on them, but hey, you can't control these things. Matt's in charge of that. And for all orders over $25, you will receive 500 Iraqi dinar. Which might be worth something. So let's see, Jen. The rumor yesterday, Jen, was that the Iraqi dinar was coming in at $3.90.
That's the back.
That sounds fine to me. But the rumor is, so if we went 3.90 times 500, that's $1,950, 19.5. So that's worth it. $25 spend, you get something that could be worth almost $2,000 someday. Way to go. Anyway, also please do not forget to slide over to MikeBarraPets.com, MikeBarraPets.com, where you can get some really cool mushroom-based health products for your kitties, your doggies, and your horsies, based on the Coriolis versicolor mushrooms. You can also pick up products for human consumption, like the immunity booster and the organ booster, the Enforce Restore, are all available. You just hit the shop tab, and there you got all the products for dogs, for cats. And again, I'm going to remind you, I give Barkley the Mojos and the Mush Puppies. His energy is off the scale, and he's actually a crazy dog to deal with. You can get the Mush Ponies for the horses. There's super sauce for the dogs, super sauce for the kitties. If you can get your kitties to eat anything, Miss Fluffy Muffy only eats kibble. But guess what? They also have dog and cat kibble that are much, much healthier than what you typically buy at the grocery store. The lady to talk to here is Diana out in Boulder City. She gave me this t-shirt. And you can reach her at mikebarrapets@gmail.com. Simply write her an email, tell her what the problems are with your dogs, with your cats, or with yourself, and she will recommend a treatment program. They have starter packs. They have all kinds of cool stuff going on over there at mikebarrapets.com. And Jen, why don't you tell us what's happening over at jenniferfalaw.com this week as you're winding down before your birthday vacation?
Yeah. Well, I do have a sale on the half-hour reading, and it is $30 off regular price. So $59, you can get a half hour with me. I'll get as many questions as you want answered in a half an hour.
Most girls charge $250 for that, Jen.
You know what? I'll kick your ass later for that. Okay. So we also still have the medical intuitive reading on sale. That is $69. That is harder, more focused. That's why it's a little bit more on sale than the other. But that is also on sale. These sales will be ending tomorrow. So you want to get in there, pick them up. That's a good price. Sometimes I let people combine 2 gift cards for an hour. So if you want to do that, you could do that one day. But stock up on them now for later when you need them. And Susan Gretz is also on there. She does things that I do not do. If you're looking for missing items, missing people, want what is it, numerology? She even does like palm reading. She is amazing. Marcy is amazing at getting rid of the bad guys from yourself or your house. And if you have any situation like that, go to Marcy House. She can get to you quicker than I can.
And I can testify that Susan is great at helping you find lost stuff. She's helped me several times and didn't even want any money for it. And I'm like, no, it's your job. You're going to get paid for it.
That's all three of us girls were working in a very, very large, was very large on Facebook, free psychic reading, Speak in a Light for many years. They donated their time for free for all those people in that group. So it's hard for us not to offer, like the whole charging thing in the past few years, we've had to do that. Just to keep going and keep doing it. But yeah, they are very loving, giving women who want to help people. And so am I. So go and help my girls there, or, mediumship. Susan is amazing at mediumship. Marcy is too, but she's just, won't listen to me and do that. She likes her cleansings. Anyway, get on over to jenniferfallah.com. There are people that will email me and ask me, do you have a donation button? Do you have a donation button? I'd like to send a donation.
That gigantic button right there. Yeah.
Love button. You can send a tip. You can combine services. If you're like, well, I want this and that, don't want to make 3 purchases. Just throw the amount on there. Email me. Tell me what you did. Everybody has to email after purchase. Tell me what you got. I'll walk you through it from there. Okay.
All right. That is what is happening over at jenniferfallah.com today. Okay, we're going to start as we always do over on Rumble. One of the big advantages of being on Rumble, guys, is that you can actually subscribe for a mere $5 a month. There's a little button at the very bottom of the screen that says subscribe on it. Jen and I's picture is blocked. No, that's not going to work. How about that? There we go. There's a little subscribe button down in the lower right-hand corner. You click on that. You can subscribe on a monthly basis, $5 a month. You have to remind them that you want to keep renewing, and you get your questions answered first. Now, today, we're not under a lot of time constraint because we didn't have a lot of news. But like, for instance, on Monday, we didn't get anywhere close to all the questions because we had a ton of news. We had a shit ton. It was a shit ton of news. But you get when you subscribe for $5 a month, you get a little red castle next to your name. That means your questions get to go first. But guys, I want to ask you again. I want to remind you again. It's very important. Give us your real name when you ask a question and the name of the person, entity, or creature that you may be asking about.
And also, just to let everybody know, it's not guaranteed that you're going to get your question answered every show. I mean, $5 a month for 8 shows a month is pretty cheap. And we don't always have all that time. I can't, and usually, please just post one question.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Posting the questions so we can get to everybody. And also, I'm just saying, if you'd like to push ahead of the line, you could also just throw us a 20.
Yeah. That will get you to the head of the line.
You can do the Rumble rant. I've seen other shows do that, and I'm like, well, that's nice.
Yeah, well, you guys can always do that, and we appreciate it very much. It is a little bit of not really passive income for Jen and me, but it helps pay for the bills for the show and stuff like that. It's
goes into the pot.
And we've talked about doing maybe a Sunday night show where Jen just answers questions, and it's all going to be on Rumble, and it's going to be all based on Rumble Rant. So, if you Rumble Rant, minimum of $10, we answer your question, and we just go do that for an hour on a Sunday night. It's going to have to be before football season. But that's an idea. I just can't, So let us know if you want Jen and I to do that. We'd be happy to do that because there are actually some questions that I can answer, Jen.
I know.
Not very many, but there are some questions. All right, let's go to the Rumble questions. Sunny2660, Chris Loeb, $5 a month subscriber, a Little Red Castle. Chris Loeb here. Post RV, will lot 333 or 334 still be available?
No.
Okay. More answers than questions. Gary is here. Little Red Castle, $5 a month subscriber. Jen, will my daughter Stephanie come home for a visit sometime in June? Thank you. Gary would like to know if his daughter Stephanie's going to come home in June for a visit.
Yeah, 3rd week of June.
Excellent. Okay, a lot of people talking. Not a lot of questions. Megan Angus, Little Red Castle, $5 a month subscriber. She always has a question. Jen, I loved your show yesterday. Caught the replay and had a few good. That's all she didn't have a question. Okay. Cool Raul, whose name is Raul, $5 a month subscriber. Little Red Castle says, will I have problems with my ex-wife Janine after we RV? Raul, a good question, Raul. Will you have problems?
Not really. She tried something. She's trying to see how she can get something.
Don't tell her about it.
Probably only if there's anything owed to her, I would just give her some kind of lump sum, make her happy, and have her sign something to leave you alone.
Yeah,
that's what I do. That's what I do.
Carissa, Little Red Castle, $5 a month subscriber says, are my lower bottom left teeth getting better with my oral care routine, or will I need to get fillings? Carissa.
Well, it is killing the infection inside of the cavity, but it hasn't filled in the holes. Okay, so that's up to you. I mean, I'm not at this point in time. It looks like there is some new regrowth of the enamel in there.
Good.
But just keep doing what you're doing. I mean, if at any point in time, but I do think it's killing the infection, and I think that it's encouraging the enamel to grow because it looks like spider webs are forming to fill in the hole, but there's still a lot of holes there. If you look, so I'm getting this big picture of this tiny little hole amplified. It's hard to explain.
Okay.
Anyway,
Rosemary, Little Red Castle, $5 a month subscriber. Question, Jen, wondering about my biological dad who passed in March. Is he okay? And is he happy with how I handled the funeral? Rosemary would like to know.
He is. Tell her you did a good job.
That's a nice message from Dad. Julie, Little Red Castle, $5 a month subscriber says, I really appreciate you guys. Question, do you see in your crystal ball many people having their funds clawed back after the RV? I'm slightly concerned about that. Like, screw up with your NDA. Is that going to happen to a lot of people, or is it only going to happen to a few people and then everybody's going to go, wow, I don't want that to happen?
Sorry, I'm asking questions. What do they do to you if you violate an NDA? The funds are frozen, but they cannot freeze them forever because it is a legitimate exchange. Your funds are frozen until the NDA period is over.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Maybe
that's what happens.
What really
they
happens.
Can't take your money for saying something, but they can stop you from accessing it.
Yep. And, that would be just punishment.
As a punishment, say, hey, keep it quiet.
Yeah. Okay, Megan Angus, Little Red Castle, $5 a month subscriber. Jen, I heard on another guru's video the other day that Elon Musk is no longer with us. Is that true?
The original Elon Musk, is he alive? He is. He flipped. I think that some point, I don't know if he was. That's interesting. So I don't think it's fair to say he flipped. He kind of had a misunderstanding of what he was contributing to, who he was involved with, and then once he gained that understanding, I think it's still the same guy.
Okay, yeah, that's the next question: is he the same guy, and is he an alien?
Nope, flesh and blood. He's a
human,
not an alien.
Okay, Lisa, Little Red Castle, $5 a month subscriber. We did a video and there were loads of big orbs on the replay. Were they spirits? And if so, do you know who they were?
Well, a lot of times when you get loads of big orbs, you've got dust or you've got moisture. I've seen people take pictures in barns and send them to me, and there's a million orbs in there. Look at all the spirits you have in. I'm like, look at all the dust you have in there. So I'm not one to think that I'm just not on board with all the orb pictures. I've seen a couple that were legitimate. Okay. I would have to view the video to tell you that.
Okay. Sarah, Little Red Castle, $5 a month subscriber, says, how long do you see me having to take MACA pills, MACA pills, before my female and endocrine issues are corrected?
Like 4 to 6 weeks.
Okay. Lucy, Little Red Castle, $5 a month subscriber, says, hi, Jen. My granddaughter is going to live on a college campus in September for the first time. With all the uprising and incidents on campuses these days, will she be safe and have a good year? It would be helpful, Lucy, if we had her real name as well, but that's Lucy.
Oh, let me just tune into Lucy because I know who that is, and then the granddaughter and where she's going. So it's like stepping stones, one to the other to the other. That's why I need names and energetic signatures.
Right.
So yeah, it should be fine.
Okay. Kathy, Little Red Castle, $5 a month subscriber, says, I would like to know how my brother-in-law Tom will be where he's staying, or if he will find a new appropriate home. Will Kathy's brother-in-law Tom, find a new appropriate home?
I do see him lifting up and moving to another place. Somebody assist him in doing that.
She'd also like to know if you know where he is currently, because maybe she doesn't know.
No, but someone's caring for him.
Okay, good. Scott, Little Red Castle, $5 a month subscriber, says, will I get a job before the RV?
Which Scott is this? Because I don't want to tune into the wrong one.
Scott 1484 is all I have.
No.
Okay. Laura, Little Red Castle, $5 a month subscriber, says, my son Christopher applied for an internship but was just turned down. You said that he would be accepted, but later, will this company come back and hire him, or will it be another company that gives him an internship? Another company? Okay. Okay. Hi, my name is Judy. I have a dog, Tino, that has seizures. He had numerous seizures the other day. Is there anything else I can do for him besides his regular meds? And she wants to know if he's in pain or not. Like, is there anything she could be doing to help with this that she's not doing?
There's like a stinging, tingling sensation after the seizure all over, as if your foot's waking back up. I don't know what to suggest for that. Anything that would numb or calm like his central nervous system.
Is there a medicine available that he could be treated with? Let's ask that question. Like, if she took him to the vet, would the vet know about a medicine that she could give to him?
Yes.
Okay, so let's make sure he gets to the vet, Judy. And he better not be my ex-wife either. Hi, Hi, Mike and Jen. This is Donna. Jen, do you see me and my husband John being able to do a family vacation over the summer with our kids, Ava and Josh? Donna, John, Ava,
Yeah,
and
something
Josh.
with either a river or a lake, some kind of water is involved. We're close to that. It might be camping or just staying at some kind of resort or something. Yeah.
Okay, Tim H on YouTube. Will I be in a healthy romantic relationship this season? I assume he means spring. What should I be looking out for? Jen, go ahead, Jen.
I think we're in the summer, Tim. Mutual interests. Find people with mutual interests.
Find people.
Because with you, Tim, when you start talking about stuff, people tend to run because they don't understand. All right, you're going to have to get somebody who's on board with the spiritual and patriot beliefs that you have.
If you're going to talk about patriots and MAGA and aliens and Q, yeah,
and spiritual
some people are going to
concepts
run.
and all that stuff, they're going to be like, yeah.
By the way,
it's time to go.
Jen is really good at that kind of question. In my year look ahead, she told me that in the fall I will be meeting my next girl, the next one that's like a love relationship, and she will be. I am to look for a blonde stripper.
Did I say that, or did you say that?
You didn't say it. Gabriel said it. I believe. I believe it was Gabriel.
Put that
you
in there.
said you're like she's sitting there and she goes, say that again.
Oh, did I?
Okay. She goes, okay, it's a stripper. Hey, I have another question about that girl.
But of course it is a stripper.
Of course. I have a question about that girl. Strippers can be rehabilitated. It can happen. Does she have tattoos? A lot of tattoos? Or should I not be looking for a tattoo?
Just a few. Not really where you can see them.
Oh, I'll see them.
Nowadays, a stripper is just an exotic dancer. It's just an act. It's not like, back in the 70s or something where they were like doing stuff, They're not like sleeping around with everybody.
You don't go to strip clubs much, do you? Okay. Joanne has a question. What is I may have a joint GPS account with my grown son to have funds in case I die or something happens. So is there in the trust fund, is there an inheritance clause in the new system, Jen? Is that going to be something you can do? What happens when somebody passes to their trust? What happens to all the money in it?
I believe when I don't know if we should call it a trust, but anyway, let's call it a treasury account. When you sign up and put it in a treasury account, they're going to ask you for a beneficiary, is what I'm getting. And if there is not one given, it will go to next of kin. So that's important.
Okay, Christine, sorry, let's repeat that again because I didn't really listen.
So what I'm getting is that when you sit down for your exchange and you start this trade, which this can be changed later, you can manage your account, but they're going to ask you for beneficiary for the account. So if you like die tomorrow or whenever, you can, somebody gets it. It's not just floating out there. It's not confiscated.
It's not confiscated. It's not floating out.
So
Christine,
if you do not give them a beneficiary and you die someday, it will go to your next of kin.
Okay. So it's almost like probate or something in that sense.
Mm-hmm. So probably something that you could change later when you do set up a trust and say, well, now that this is a legitimate currency and I do have funds here and this will, so you could handle all that stuff later. But I'd go into the appointment and have a little list of the kids' social security numbers and things like that, so you could put them down as a beneficiary.
Yeah, that's a good idea. And of course, estate planning is always a good idea. Christine Packer, does anyone think that the Trump card will be the PED Act, and that's the Presidential Emergency Action Document, what everybody thinks was in the red folder he was holding up before on the January 6th rally? I don't know if that's kind of a vague question, but will that have something to do with how this process goes down? I don't see how it could, because it'll.
Hang on, let me ask something real quick here. The Trump card is the financial transition.
Yeah. Interesting. Thomas Klein, good morning, Mike and Jen. Will the 2020 election be set aside before 2024? Well, it is 2024. I assume you mean the 2024 election.
I believe that was the plan. Let's see where we're at now. It is as of now, but like hanging in the wings, should it be needed to be used, like if Joe Biden dropped out or was taken out, and they just still want to use that date and they still want to have that election, they would have another candidate come in, but not one that would win. That's kind of confusing right now. That's a confusing question, because I feel like that's been played with, that plan, that part of the plan. Okay, do we do this as a new election? Or do we just go ahead and use that date because everything's set up already for that date to be handled,
Well, we're running out of time. Yeah, that's the thing, is we're running out of time, because, NESARA says there have to be new elections within 120 days of the declaration of NESARA, or whatever they're going to call it, or whatever they're going to do. So, that's like July, and we're in late April, almost May. So we're not very far away from that. So if they're going to act, they better do it now. And I really think an emergency election like that would have a much more dramatic impact. If they just pretend and go with a regular old election, I don't think it's going to make the change that they want to make. So I think that's a loser.
Maybe, but somehow it's still floating out there as a possibility.
Okay. Well, yeah, me growing all my hair back is a possibility too. But
I'm just answering the question, man. I don't know what you want from me. So.
Am I going to get a hair transplant this year?
Next, moving on. I'm not going to even touch that one. I'm not touching that one.
Can I get my Johnson made bigger?
No, you don't hear that. I knew that was coming.
Not that it needs to be. But,
I knew that question was coming.
I wouldn't like an extra half inch here and there. Some places you want to lose that inch. Some places you want to add it. Good.
All right.
Actually, you know what? If that happens, there would be like a plague of gigantic penises in the world, because every guy thinks it isn't big enough, and it's wrong.
I have actually had men email me more than once and asked me if I could do that in a healing, and I'm like,
no.
Oh my God.
That's like a pervy thing to ask Jen. So don't ask.
It's like,
I just did.
No.
Don't ask her that. Good morning, Mike and Jen. Patriot Noyes girl. Could you ask the angels if there are going to be more earthquakes as people are projecting? I'm going to give you a quick answer. No. There are going to be earthquakes. There are going to be issues like this always when we have alignments and stuff. But, there's been so much crap out there. This Gordon Michael Scallion guy. Oh, I had a dream and I saw a map of the United States where it was split down the middle. The Mississippi River swelled and filled up 5 states on either side. It's like, none of that shit's ever
going to happen. There will always be earthquakes, yeah. Sure. But I think we're past that big cluster.
What causes earthquakes? Is it the Mother Earth like releasing energy as the planet grows inside out, from the inside out? Or what is it exactly? Do we know?
Well, if you study, I guess, unless you go down there, there's a lot of evidence to support that we have plates and that they are moving. And if they push together and then they go like that, you get a rumbling, you get an earthquake. You've seen it if you go out into the desert and look at the sediment lines. How all of a sudden, okay, we got sediment lines here, and now this part's pushed up like this, and that part's down like this. So there is movement going on. Everything is always moving. Everything is always changing. Nothing ever, if you look small enough or deep enough into it, is never still. So it makes sense that something full of so much energy would also be moving. And
I have, I have another question about the Earth. Was there previously a water vapor canopy over the planet Earth, like a super thick water atmosphere over the Earth in the past?
yeah, there was a lot of either gases or bad stuff in it at the time too. It took a long time for that to cleanse away or go down into the soil. So interesting. So it's like, yeah, there was something around it.
Is it true that there was no rain or rainbows before that canopy was shattered, destroyed?
No.
That we just kind of lived in dew all the time?
Well, I do think it was pretty dark. I mean, yeah, there's possibility of a rainbow when some of that light would come through, but it was very wet. There was like a constant falling of fluid, but within that fluid, it didn't really. This was a long time. Didn't really support life because of
well,
like
because
it was like acidy.
Yeah, there's people who think that, there was this water vapor canopy over the earth, which protected us a lot more from the sun's harmful rays. And that's why in the Bible that the ancient ones lived to be 800, 900 years old, because their DNA wasn't damaged by the sunlight and there wasn't really any rain to speak of. There was just kind of a constant, dew every morning you could gather up, and you could set out jugs and they'd be filled with water overnight from the dew and so forth. That's how we drank water. And I don't know.
I've always wondered about that. It's not something I could answer quickly about the living that long, and then all of a sudden in the Bible it says, okay, now man will only live to be 125 years old.
Right, which even now we can't achieve because I guess of more harmful cosmic rays. But that would be a good.
I have my own spiritual theory about why that
would be a good philosophy thing to do. Well, I have my own scientific theory, which is that there used to be 2 other planets in this solar system that blew up, and the more spin, the more planets, the more life energy. So that's why dinosaurs used to be here. Everything was bigger. There was more life energy on the planet, and now as life energy is diminished because we lost those 2 planets in our solar system, everything is smaller and doesn't live as long. So that's my theory. But it would be nice to go do that for a philosophy show sometime. How you used to do that?
Think about it. I mean, when you pull more of God's life force energy, the light of creation, and when you're centered with love and your vibration gets really high, things heal fast.
Yeah.
You're not affected by most things. I mean, just remember when you were first in love, you felt invincible. You were great. Wake up with a spring in your step, everything, because you're pulling in that love energy and putting it out. Now, if over time society or the bad guys has convinced you that you're separate and that that's not happening and that you're alone and God isn't real and all these things, you create all these layers of perception or programming barriers that will not allow that to come in. Then they put all kinds of toxins and things in your body that your body doesn't recognize. So it puts it over here as fat, and makes a tumor over here. You're not getting enough of that nourishing light coming into you to replenish, to
from the sun and the center of the
and
galaxy.
Everything. No, not from the sun, from God. Yeah. I mean, the whole thing, the whole time is trying to pull people away from God, and that's your life source. And maybe back then people really knew that. Maybe they really believed that. Maybe they didn't have toxins. Maybe they didn't have programming. And maybe they just lived and walked and knew God was there. What do you think's in a med bed?
I wrote a book about that. Now we have to use technology to fix that stuff. My name is Daniel, but I go by Danny. Can you tell me what's wrong with my left leg? Danny would like to know what's wrong with his
left leg. You're out of place. Hip, knee, both.
Maybe a chiro. Ben, yeah, we answered that question. What happens to the treasury account? Jeff Price would like to know. Hi, Mike and Jen. Jeff is always over on the on my Telegram channel. Thanks for all your contributions over there, Jeff. Will my son Jordan be done with this girl he is back and forth with and find someone good for him?
No, not for a couple of years.
Here's the thing, when a guy gets infatuated with a girl, it has to run its course.
Not till somebody else comes along to take all his attention away from her.
It
So the
has to-
problem
it
is it doesn't have anything better going, and she keeps coming back,
Yeah.
and they just keep falling back into familiar patterns. And so that's not till somebody else comes along. So be a couple of years.
Just has to run its course. Rebecca, I was told I'm declining, but I've been told that a lot and overcame and got better. Will I get better this time to spend time with my grandchildren? It's probably a medical reading, right?
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with. Yes, you will. Yeah.
Good. Because we want to keep you around until we can get you in a med bed. So, Painting Angel says, if your dog is having seizures, give animal chiropractic a try. If you can find one, yeah, absolutely. That's a great idea.
I gotta find an animal chiropractor for Max. The shepherd keeps running into him like 100 miles an hour, and then I look at Max and he's walking and his neck is like crooked, and I'm like, oh my god! At the first time it happened, the dog's broken, and then I just, massaged his neck and everything, and by the morning he popped back in, but it's happened twice.
Susie says, no woman wants a massive thing to deal with. My God made them how they're meant to be. That's true. That is true. And don't. That's the thing is that that's the thing about the med bed mythology that I don't really like, which is like I would love to be the optimized version of myself because I'm happy with my looks and I was in great shape. Be better. This whole thing about you can be 6'4" if you want to, and you can play basketball as well as Michael Jordan. It's like I don't know if that's really going to be part of the technology, but I don't think you should change that. Honestly,
it's gonna get rid of the problems that don't match up with your natural DNA sequence. If your natural DNA sequence says you're supposed to be 5'6" and such and such pounds, and this is how everything looks, that's what you're gonna get.
Yeah, good, because I don't. I mean, I hear there's other technologies that are going to be more, but I.
So if they pull up your DNA sequence, this is what this should be at this age or whatever, and then they pull up the actual, and they put the two next to each other, it's going to get rid of anything that doesn't match the original. Okay.
Would I be able to?
That's what I'm saying.
Would I be able to, for instance, change my voice box so I could sing and carry a tune at karaoke and not embarrass myself? Can that be modified?
What you could do was heal the damage done to it over the years, but no, you'll still be you with your voice.
Shit. Will the Democrats?
Now, if somebody came in with birth defects, they could probably. How do they do that then? So they would alter something about that. I guess maybe they could, but I don't think that's. They want to get into that unless it's somebody who was born with a deformed arm or something. They'd probably take the information from the other arm that's correct. They do something like that. They can't alter something like that. So maybe. What I'm seeing is just these charts of I don't even know what that is. Black X's and Y's and slashes and things like that.
Yeah.
They can. I don't know if they will. Because then you're opening up a whole can of worms with everybody wants to be this and that.
Everybody wants to be the quarterback. Everybody wants to be the lead singer. Everybody wants to be the best guitar player. Yeah, I know.
So. It's really it's meant to restore health, and repair damage or
optimize who who you are. And the other thing too is the body you picked when you came here, it's who you're supposed to be. So I don't think it's right to alter that. I think you should be the best that you can, the best you that you can be is how I would.
Something like that. Yeah. I don't know for sure. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing right now. I do think it's possible, but then, if you start doing that, everybody and their mother is going to be lined up and everybody's going to start looking really weird. I mean, like, I don't know.
We're all going to be really
they don't want to do that.
Yeah. Jen, will the Democrats try to run Big Mike Michelle in place of Biden? Rumor has it they will put her in August and Biden will step aside.
No.
Thomas Klein wants to know, Jen, will my son TC...
Big Mike's in jail.
Big Mike's in jail. Jen, will my son TC move out and get his own house soon?
Crap, I think I'm missing a rating. Hang on.
Oh, it's 11 o'clock.
I thought that was at noon. Damn it. What day is it? Oh, no, it's at 11. I got to go. Maria, I'll call you back.
Sorry, guys. Jen's got to go. Thank you for being here. We appreciate each and every one of you. See you next time, Jen. I'm not seeing you Monday, right? You're taking the week off, right?
I'm going to be off. I'm going to get a whole week off. I'll still be around. I'll still be around on Telegram. I'll still be watching, but I'm just not going to be working constantly. And I will do a show, I believe, tomorrow morning if I have something to say. If I don't have anything to say, then I probably won't.
So you guys that didn't get your questions in today, and I do apologize, there's a few of you, get on into Jen's show tomorrow, and she'll probably take some questions on philosophy tomorrow.
I do answer questions sometimes if you get into the philosophy chat group on Telegram. If I see it, I usually answer it.
Okay. Love you guys, and we will see you. I'll see you probably tonight on Whiskey and Wisdom, where we offend the female moderators again.